It's Gnome of the Month. Gnome of the Month.
Gnome of the Month. Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations and I'm Nova and I am so happy to see you today. I hope that you are doing well and I hope that you and your loved ones are taking care of the best that you can. I hope you guys are enjoying this little last stretch of the year in between Christmas and New Year's. I know that Christmas is over and I am technically wearing my Christmas hat and my Christmas scarf, but this is a Christmas, gnome video still, so I thought it was only fitting. This is our Gnome of the Month for December video, so it is the last Saturday of the month. We are actually just like one day away from the end of the year entirely, so that last Saturday really coming in right there at the end. But if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I hope that you find this to be the comfiest, coziest corner of YouTube. I hope that you will come in, leave your worries at the door. We have a nice little doorman. He loves to take your worries and stash them in the back for you. That way you can either choose to pick them up or you can leave them. But if there's something that you need to pick back up, you could pick them up after we hang out. So you could just take a deep breath, let that weight roll off of your shoulders, and just come and chill with me for a little bit. Grab yourself a chair. We've got every type of chair. This is a magical, cozy little corner. Every type of seat you can imagine, literally anything. If you want to take a seat on the fluffiest cloud, pull up a cloud. If you want to take a seat on like the comfiest microfiber couch you can think of, we've got that too. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a project, whatever it is you're going to want to do while we hang out, and just relax, just chill, just take 5 minutes to yourself and take a deep breath. All right? And that goes for you too, Gnomies. If you are not new here, welcome back. I am so happy that you're here today. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you had a great holiday. If you're still celebrating your holidays, then I hope you are having a great holiday still. It is about to be the new year, so unless you go by like the Chinese calendar or something, I think for like everybody else, I'm probably wrong, but for like everybody that I know of, we are about to be in the new year in like 2 days, so Happy New Year to everybody, and Happy New Year to you, even if you're somewhere where New Year is not happening right now. But I'm pretty sure everybody watching this video is probably having New Year. Yeah, I think that's my little holiday shout outs. Okay, guys, so for Gnome of the Month this month, I did a kit. This is my first time doing a crochet kit. Let me like really think on it for a minute. Yes. Okay. So I have a couple of crochet kits, but I have not done them. I actually have not even opened them because I know that crochet kits are notorious for not actually being like good to crochet from. I bought one for my sister back last Christmas, I think, and she was my first experience with a crochet kit, and she did not enjoy that. It was a Rudolph one, so it was really cute, but I just know the quality that usually comes in the kits, so I tend to steer clear, unless I want the kit for my collection. I like to collect cool crochet stuff because I'm a crocheter. So if I see things that are like, my favorite shows or Christmassy things or stuff like that, I still want those kits. I don't have very many though. I don't go out of my way to obtain them, but like I've come across a few in person, like on good deals, and grabbed them. And I want to get like the Harry Potter one and things like that. But like I said, I've never actually used a crochet kit. At least I don't think I have. I'm trying to think. I'm like, have I ever opened a crochet kit? I feel like at some point I have, because I really remember the plastic hook. But I just cannot remember for the life of me. I don't remember ever crocheting from a crochet kit. Regardless, guys. So the standard quality that you expect when you get a crochet kit is a plastic hook, typically with like a seam running down it, so it's gonna snag on your yarn. Maybe an aluminum hook if you're lucky, but no like ergonomic hook usually. I think this is the first kit I've ever seen with an ergonomic hook. You know, just really cheap yarn, just kind of wadded up and thrown in the box. These are the expectations I have for crochet kits, okay? So I got this crochet kit by a company called Crochet-Along. I will link this company and this crochet kit and any like information like that in the description box for you guys, for easy access. I am not like sponsored by them or anything. I don't make money when you buy them, so I have no eggs in that basket, if that's the phrasing that I'm trying to you're trying to use. But I'm not swayed whether or not you buy a kit, is what I'm trying to say. So these are just my honest opinions, my review, and also me showing you guys my gnome. So actually, before I get into the kit real quick, let me explain to you what Gnome of the Month is, in case this is your first time being here for Gnome of the Month. Gnome of the Month is where I come on my channel on the first Saturday of the month and the last Saturday of the month. The first Saturday, I come on and I tell you guys what my plans are for my gnome this month. A lot of times I will be doing something like freehanding something, or maybe making a pattern and doing a crochet along on my channel in case you guys want to join in. Sometimes I'm telling you guys what pattern I'm planning on using, if I've like purchased a pattern or something. And then like this month, I actually am doing a kit. So doing a little collaboration with this company. They sent me this kit. I got to pick it out, obviously. But then the last Saturday of the month, I come on here and I show you guys my gnome. So you don't see anything about it all month. I don't show you guys the progress. I don't update you. I don't really talk about it a whole lot. And then it's a surprise and I come on the last Saturday. But I don't just show you guys my gnome. The last Saturday of the month is also when I showcase all of your guys' gnomes. So if you would like to send in a gnome, you can send them in at any time. My email is novagnomecreations@gmail.com. It's always in the description box of my videos though, and you can just copy and paste it right out of there. You can send me an email. You put Gnome of the Month as your subject line. Attach any pictures of your gnomes. Let me know in your email what name you would like me to credit you with when I put together my video. Other than that, you can go ham. You can say anything you want. If you want to tell me about your gnome, if you want to tell me what patterns or yarns or the story behind it or what you named it or anything, you are free to include any of that information, but it is not required. I think that is everything. That's my little spiel. And also, I have talked about this kit like 3 times already this month, and I have thanked them every time, but I do want to, real quick again, thank Crochet-Along for doing this little collaboration with me and allowing me to try out their company, and allowing me to share them with you guys. Okay, so now back to the kit. So I got this kit, and it is the Dwarf Christmas Tree Gnome Kit. So they do a bunch of different kits. They are not all gnomes. I think they have one more gnome other than this one. At the time of when I picked this out and looked, they could have changed. They could have more. I don't know. You know, they're constantly changing what they have, and with Christmas being done, they're probably going to be getting rid of their Christmas stuff soon, and they had several Christmas kits. So this is the gnome that I picked, the kit that I picked. Something that I thought was really cool about this company, I'm going to kind of tell you guys what my first impressions were in case you missed that video, and then I'll get into like my review of having made the kit now. So one of the things I thought was really cool about this company, right off the get, when I opened the box, they give you an ergonomic crochet hook. I have never seen a kit give you an ergonomic crochet hook before. So I really appreciated that. I crochet with, you know, thicker handled hooks like this. I don't use aluminum handled hooks to crochet with, and I definitely don't want one of those really cheap plastic hooks with no weight to it, with the seam running up it and everything else. Like, I definitely appreciated getting a quality hook. The other thing that I noticed right off the bat when I opened my box was the quality that they packed it with. So all of the yarn came in this little bag, and it all came so nice and neat. And you guys can see I have a lot of leftover yarn. That is something on the review side of it, not the first impression side of it, but they do include plenty of yarn. So they pack the yarn really nice and neat. Everything is all rolled up. And then they include everything you need, more than everything you need to make the kit. So they gave me all of this stuff. They gave me a bunch of pom-poms. I made my gnome and I have this many left, by the way. They gave me a bunch of stitch markers and push pin thingies to pin my work in place. They gave me needles, like darning needles. They gave me metal darning needles to sew with, not plastic ones. They gave me glue sticks to use to hot glue things on. They gave me 3 glue sticks. So I was really impressed right out the gate with everything they included, the quality of the way that they included everything, and packed the kit. It was just really, really nice. Then the other thing that I was really impressed by was this. For one, they give you a nice full color book of all about how to make the gnome, or, you know, whatever your kit comes with. They also give you a whole nother book, which is just how to crochet, because they wanted this to be really beginner friendly and like a way to learn how to crochet. So this book, which actually has like a lot to it, it's a pretty significant little book here. This is a learning how to crochet in general book. This goes into depth of how to like hold your yarn, how to do a magic circle, how to do like every stitch, that like every basic stitch. So like single crochet, double crochets, increasing, decreasing, half double crochets, how to count your stitches, how to sew things together, front loop and back loops, like which one is which. This isn't a chart. This is a chart of abbreviations and what they mean. US UK conversion chart. This is not just for your this is not just, oh, and it does have a little like cover, and then this is the actual booklet. This is not for your project. This is for more than your project. So this is just for learning how to crochet. And then the cool thing that I really liked was every part of this kit has these little oh gosh, what are these things called? QR codes. It has these little QR codes. So you can literally just take your phone, open up your camera app, and hold it over it, and it will pop up on your screen with a link that you can click that will take you to videos that correspond with what you're looking at. So this one is going to take you to view tutorial videos that like to go along with what's in this booklet. The other one, let me put that back in the box. This other one also has QR codes, and I did check them out because I wanted to make sure that I could give you a full like good review on everything. So I think that's like kind of the end of my like first impressions of everything, and now I'm gonna go on into my review. So I did check out the QR codes. Actually, they're really nice. So what it takes you to when you scan this QR code that's in here, and they put them everywhere in here, by the way, so like you're not gonna have any trouble finding it. There are QR codes all over the place, and they say if you're a beginner, this is like a good place to start. It says to start as quickly as possible as a beginner, these are the best way to do it. It takes you to a YouTube playlist that is link only. So you're not going to be able to search YouTube for them, but if you have the QR code, you can go to it, and it'll take you to it. And it's, like I said, it's a link only, like, you have to be invited basically, playlist that has videos for the whole entire process of the gnome. So it's a playlist of all of the different parts of the gnome. And I thought that they were good videos. Like, I actually went through and watched a little bit, just to get a good feel for it. I thought that they were good tutorials. So that's really impressive to me that they went through all of this and also include full tutorials of the whole process. Okay, you guys ready to see the gnome? I think I'll show you the gnome before I continue into the review. Okay, guys, this is really, really cute and really, really small. You ready? Ba-ba-da-ba! It is so tiny. And it is so cute. So here is my gnome, and I actually did learn something new in this process. They call this like a radish thread, like, I don't know if you'd call it a radish thread stitch or whatever, but they call these radish threads. And they do explain how to do them. And I am going to be using that stitch now to do beards periodically, maybe even hair periodically, you know, depending on if I think it matches the gnome more than other styles. I'm trying to make sure that the beard doesn't just blow up in the lighting. This shows you guys how tiny this gnome is. It is very small. Okay, so I am going to address that elephant in the room, or, you know, micro elephant in the room. So you guys will see that there are a lot of stitches here. It's not that this is a small project. I mean, it is a small project, but it has the same amount of stitches as my normal gnomes do. So, like, you know, probably like 4 times the size, at least 3 times the size of this is my average size gnome. When I use a worsted weight yarn with a 3.5 millimeter hook, and I think if I were to work this same exact pattern up in a 3.5 millimeter hook with a worsted weight yarn, it would come out much, much, much bigger. So that is going to be probably, and I don't want to color my opinion too heavily on this, but I also do, this is my opinion. This is probably the most negative part of this kit that I'm going to say is, you use a 2 millimeter hook, and let me make sure it's a 2 millimeter flat. Yes. Okay. You use a 2 millimeter hook, to make this kit. And I'm assuming this is a DK weight yarn, to go with the 2 millimeter hook. It is so tiny, you guys. And, crocheting with this yarn, I was trying to figure out the best way to explain the texture of this yarn to you guys. And I think I figured it out that the best way to explain it is kind of like embroidery floss. It is splitty. And I did take some pictures during the process that I will pop up to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. But, like, a lot of yarns are splitty, you know, it's not just this one. But when you're using that 2 millimeter hook with a yarn like this, like, of course, now that I'm trying to show you guys, I'm struggling. But it is like this. Let me focus it for you. There you go. So it really is like comparable to embroidery floss in the fact that it's got, you know, the multiple strands like this. And the thing is, when you're using a 2 millimeter hook, these strands do not necessarily want to stay together. So that is going to be my most, like, negative thing. The thing that I would change about this crochet kit is especially trying to make it beginner friendly. And once again, this is my opinion. Maybe some of you guys disagree. Maybe some of you guys crochet with, you know, a 2 millimeter hook when you do your, when you make your amigurumi. I know some of you guys do. But I don't feel like it's that beginner friendly. It's just my opinion. And it could be my opinion based on the fact that I did not start with such a small hook. I do not prefer it. I really struggled with like wanting to work on this because of the fact I knew I had to use this little 2mm hook in this thinner yarn. And I don't know, and the yarn, it's nice, but it's different than what I'm used to. You know what I mean? I really do kind of feel like I crocheted with embroidery floss or embroidery thread. But I think the outcome, oh my word, is it cute as can be. And like I said, they included so much stuff. So like, I still have all of this left. Like, I honestly could almost make another gnome. There's so much stuff left. I didn't end up using the wire because I didn't feel like I needed to. The only thing that I would have used it in was you can use it in the star and do like, I guess like a little thing to stick down into there. But since I was already hot gluing on all these pom-poms and stuff, I just went ahead and hot glued it on. And it's done with such a small hook that there's no need for me to use metal in it, use wire in it to like for structure purposes. It's very structured. It's very tightly stitched. And then the other thing that you would use the wire for is actually this candy cane, but I didn't really care for the candy cane. I didn't really want the candy cane with mine, so I just didn't make the candy cane. But other than that, I used everything that they provided, and I think it came out so cute. So my review for the pattern itself, it's written a little bit differently than I'm used to a pattern being written, but this is kind of the case with, you know, with lots of random patterns. My advice for going through patterns is always to read the pattern first, especially just to get a feel for how they write their pattern. And then if you would like to, go through and write it in your own way of understanding a pattern. So your preferred way of reading a pattern that's gonna make it so you don't have to sit here and like read each line 7 times while you're crocheting. That's just my preference. But like I said in my first impressions video, they do like, at the end of each line, it'll say SS equals a number and then ST. So then what they mean by that is slip stitch, and then the equals is how many stitches you should have at the end of the row. So it, like I said, that's a little weird. And so the pattern itself is written a little just different, just a little bit weird to me, but completely understandable. I didn't even have to really go through and rewrite it into like the way that I like to read patterns. I just had to take a moment to adjust to the way that they write their pattern. The other thing that they do in this pattern that in the actual written pattern that isn't my favorite is they slip stitch at the end of each round, and then they have you chain 1 and do the next round. I prefer to work in continuous rounds where you don't slip stitch at the end when I'm making amigurumi. So I did do that for certain parts like the body, because otherwise you're going to get a seam, and I don't like having a seam in my amigurumi. So unless there's like a specific reason that I need to do that, I don't. I did do it in some parts. And obviously for like the hat, I did do it because these are double crochets. So obviously you do slip stitch and begin your new round by chaining for that. But for the most part, I did not do that. I did it for like the hands until I got transitioned and things like that, just to be authentic to the way they wrote it. But like I said, when I did my body and stuff, I did not do that because I just didn't want the seam. But that's just kind of personal preference, you know. There are things like that that are personal preference when it comes to patterns, and that's just in general, not just with a kit. And when I come across things like that, I just am happy to adjust them to my preference. But I think one of the coolest things about this pattern is this radish thread beard. I just keep calling it a radish beard. And this hat is worked in layers. So you make this top layer, you make this second layer, third layer, and fourth layer, and then you put them all together during the construction, during the oh, what's the word? Not construction. There's a word. Let me see. Assembly. You put them all together during the assembly. So they do have you make use of hot glue for this pattern. So you do hot glue the layers together, hot glue the pom-poms on, and like I said, I did go ahead and hot glue the star on. I honestly don't know that there's a way to add the pom-poms without hot gluing them on. Maybe fabric glue, and I suppose you could run like thread through them and sew them on, but oh my gosh, I would not want to do that. That'd be a pain in the booty. But here is how my little gnome came out. I am definitely going to do more beards that way. I think he came out so cute. I think the pattern is great. My biggest bone to pick is just he is very small, and I found tedious using such a tiny hook. But I know that that's a preference, but this is my opinion. This is my thoughts and stuff on the pattern. So if that's not something that's going to bother you, then you might love this kit. And I did love this kit, even so. My biggest thing is I do think my personal, like, advice or note to the company, if trying to make these beginner friendly is something that they're really focused on, I personally don't find that thin of yarn and that size of hook to be beginner friendly. And I do know a lot of you guys, like a lot of my gnomies, we all crochet with worsted weight yarn, and I do think that might be a I don't know if it's like an American thing, because I have noticed that like some other people that I follow or that I like occasionally watch, or like, I don't know, I see like tutorials when I'm scrolling Facebook and things like that, that some other people that aren't American, that aren't like native English speaking, they'll use like a lot thinner yarn and smaller hooks as like the standard. Like that seems to be their go-to average. And then like in my community and a lot of the communities that I'm in, I noticed that we use worsted weight yarn. So that could just be like a, oh gosh, what's the word? A, cultural difference, like a crochet cultural difference, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my opinion on the kit, guys. I think the kit is great as far as it comes with everything you could need. I think the pattern is great. I think that the QR codes are just like such a great addition. It comes with an ergonomic hook. The pattern, I think it worked out so adorable. My only thing is I apparently do not like crocheting this tiny 2mm hook. I've been wanting to make things with smaller hook sizes for amigurumi, and I think that this was the perfect project for me to go, maybe I don't. Maybe that's not for me. Maybe I'm gonna stick with worsted weight yarn and a 3.5mm hook, and even blanket yarn and stuff like that. I've made blanket yarn and chenille yarn and worsted weight yarn and everything else plushies. Or double-stranded DK weight yarns together, and I hadn't really had experience with these sizes. And maybe I don't like it, because I really did find it so tedious, but I think it's so cute. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed my little gnome of the month. So tiny. He's a very small boy. And I hope you guys enjoyed this kit review. Like I said, if you are interested in this stuff, I will have it linked in the description box for you. Now it is time to get into y'all's gnomes. So any gnomes that you guys have sent me this month for Gnome of the Month, I'm going to go dig those out, and I am going to start the editing and compiling and getting that all ready for you guys. And then you can sit here and enjoy yourself, sit back, relax, and see what everybody's been up to in the gnomey world. Like I said, guys, for sending in gnomes, I did want to say, I think I might have forgotten to, you do not have to crochet. So you do not have to crochet a gnome. If you would like to make a gnome to send in, it can be anything you've crafted. So clay, painting, knitting, drawing, diamond painting, cross stitching, like anything that you've made that is a gnome, you are welcome to share with us for Gnome of the Month. So without further ado, let's get into it, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. These first four gnomes are by, well, first four pictures full of gnomes are by Larnie, and they are so cute. So much Christmas goodness, so many different types of styles and themes. I love it. And these next two gnomes were sent in by Tiff from Australia. She is new to amigurumi and new to the channel, so welcome. Welcome to our cozy little corner. She made a spring gnome for her second gnome because in Australia, they actually just finished up spring and they are going into the summer season. This next gnome touched my heart so much. This is from Jane, who is from Newport, Shropshire, England. And she made this gnome in honor of her late husband. She named it Nigel. And this was her first ever gnome. So I just want to say a big shout out to Jane. You did a fantastic job with it. I'm so sorry for your loss of your hubby. I think that he would be like so honored to be memorialized in your new gnome. And I want to welcome you to our channel here. Sending you lots of gnomey hugs and love, and you did a fantastic job. This next gnome is by Patty. She made the super beginner friendly gnome, and she made the cutest little gnome. I love the addition of the, oh gosh, ladybug onto the hat. That is such a cute little addition. These next gnomes are by Christine. She said that these are the first gnomes she made, but she does not remember who the pattern was from. So cute. I love the little settings with the I'll be gnome for Christmas and the little gingerbread sign and stuff. Very cute. This next gnome is by our beautiful Heidi B, and she made this gnome and named it Noel. It's made of worsted weight yarn from Hirschner's and big twist with a 4mm hook. And the pattern for the body is based on one of my tutorials, and the hat is Bag a Day's Christmas tree from earlier this year. She said when she saw that, she knew it needed to be a gnome hat, and I completely agree. That was such a good idea. Super duper cute. And then our beautiful Colleen 4160 sent in this gnome. She named it Mercy. Mercy is for her sister, so she's gonna love seeing it. I don't know if she means seeing it in this video, but if she does, hello Mercy. This gnome is named after you. And a gorgeous gnome it is too. What a lovely namesake. And last but certainly not least, we have Cindy's gnome. She's also known as the Launceston Crocheter. I think I said that right. She said they've been real busy on her side of the pond. Totally relate. These are from Passion Crafter, and it is her mini snowman and elf gnomes. So cute, and a great way to wrap up our December gnome of the month. Thank you guys so much for sharing and for watching and hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of our gnome of the month.